Drug Law Enforcement Agency urges for public vigilance on drug trafficking. NAMS enlightened on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. GDC is not a dying party, MC Cham. These and more coming on GAM24. Good evening, you're watching GAM24 with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. The Gambia is a transit point for drugs, mainly from South America and other destined to Europe. Following the recent biggest drug bust in the history of drug seizures in the Gambia, the spokesperson of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Wednesday urges the public to share information on any violations, especially drug trafficking-related matters. Daisy has more.
Many Western countries use Africa as transit point for drug peddling, including the Gambia. Last week, narcotics officers of the Gambia's Drug Law Enforcement Agency confiscated over 2 tons of cocaine at the country's only seaport in Banjul. These drugs seized at the port signals an alarm for more vigilance, says the spokesperson of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Usman Seidiba.
The reality is, battling drugs is a very complex thing. And there is no nation on earth, I will repeat this, there is no nation on earth that can say they have totally eradicated drugs. Even the most advanced nations, with advancement in technology, with all the advancement in various sophistication, still are battling this. Because the criminal in most instances always one step ahead. And it's not only Gambia. Those who understand the trends in narcotic trafficking know that West Africa, because of its geographical location, has always been seen to be a transiting point. And then again, traffickers, as I say, explore what they look at and see vulnerability. But the beauty is, we should commend our officers while we are worried and looking at the trend, analyzing the trend. We should commend our officers and celebrate them for a job well done.
Seidiba added that people should report any related drug cases to the authorities within their environment. Responding to concerns on the Drug Law Enforcement Agency's inefficiency of handling drug-related cases, the spokesperson reaffirms of agency's efforts in executing their mandate.
People from the main issue. So let us be focused. And when he did that and escaped from our jurisdiction, and this is again where partnership and cooperation is important. We had a bilateral MOU with our partners, Octis in Senegal, and there was a tripartite agreement also that is signed with our partners in Guinea-Bissau. So we relied on our partnership with our partners in Dakar. The information was shared on the ground, working on this, and they nabbed him. And when he was nabbed in Dakar on Tuesday, 29 December, the information was handed over to us. On the 1st of January, our men left and we brought him. And there are still other people of interest.
Despite the political transition in the Gambia, drug trafficking, illicit trafficking, and organized crime continue to threaten the security, rule of law, and development of the country. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
The drug agency PRO there urging the public to report drug trafficking-related issues. Now, members of the Public Accounts and Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly are undergoing a 2-day national session on anti-money laundering and combating finance terrorism in the Gambia. This training is part of a series of awareness programs organized by the Financial Intelligence Unit of the Gambia. Let's take a listen. The country has recently recorded the biggest seizure of cocaine mixed with industrial salt, which was sifted to the Gambia from Latin America through the seaport of the Gambia.
With an increasing report on drug-related cases by the Gambia Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the training is aimed to build the capacity and increase the level of awareness of parliamentarians to this global issue. A wide range of criminal activities ranging from money laundering, human and drug trafficking, among others, are a major concern to the authorities. Money laundering and financing terrorism being the focus of the training, according to Dr. Siku A.K. Jabi, First Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, damages financial institutions that are critical for economic growth and development.
The negative impacts of money laundering and terrorist financing are considerable as it can put into question the financial integrity of a country and its banking system. Major global banks often decide not to process or handle transactions from certain banks or countries, a phenomenon known as de-risking. This affects the legitimate businesses and transactions to settle financial obligations with their suppliers overseas. Mr. Chair, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Members, money laundering and terrorist financing are burning global issues, and countries are required to enact and enforce laws and regulations to protect their systems from being used by gateway of money laundering and terrorist financing.
Money laundering and terrorism financing are major burning issues globally, which requires the enactment of laws and regulations to protect systems from being used as getaways. Mamadou L.K. Sane, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, said these organized crimes are growing rapidly due to the advancement of technology.
The Gambia being part of the global network in fighting against money laundering, terrorism, financing, and also face a similar challenge like other countries, especially in the sub-region. Money laundering has potential diverse economic, security, and social consequences. It provides fuel for drug dealers, terrorists, illegal arms dealers, corrupt public officers, and others to operate and expend their criminal exercise. Crimes has been increasing internationally in scope, and financial aspects of the crimes has become more complex due to the rapid advance in technology and globalization of the financial service industries.
The Financial Intelligence Unit of the Gambia, FIU, is an agency established by the Government of the Republic of the Gambia to combat money laundering, terrorism financing, and other criminal conducts as provided in the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorist Financing Act 2012. The Gambia is also a member of Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, JABA. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
National Assembly members on Public Accounts and Enterprise Committee are undergoing a 2-day training on anti-money laundering and financing terrorism. Now, after months of lessened numbers of COVID-19 cases, the Gambia began to record new cases of the coronavirus with higher digits since last week. This is due to the public negligence of COVID-19 guidelines, which were outlined by health officials such as social gatherings and the wearing of face masks. Necessary reports.
The number of new cases of COVID-19 in the Gambia is on the increase, even though the government has outlined the travel restrictions, whereby travelers are expected to show a negative COVID-19 test for 72 taken hours before their arrival in the country. 9 new cases recorded as of Monday, taking the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 3,885, with 125 deaths and 3,679 recoveries, according to the latest report released by the Ministry of Health. 219 new laboratory test results were received from the Medical Research Council and National Public Health Laboratory, in which 7 returned inconclusive. The country currently has 80 active cases and no one has been newly taken into quarantine. The Gambia's reporting of cases is 2 days behind due to lack of capacity to deal with the surge. The country's health sector is largely impacted due to the weight of the novel coronavirus. As a result, the Health Ministry had earlier in 2020 established COVID-19 treatment centers, including Demban Clinic, which was renovated by one of the leading real estate company, the Tough African Global. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
The Gambia there began to record a higher number of COVID-19 cases since last week. Now, the Truth Commission continued its public hearings on alleged tortures meted on victims at the NIA headquarters during their detention. Keba Seka, a former NIA operative officer, was part of the people brutalized by the state agents under Yahya Jammeh. He told the commission that he was arrested and tortured for negligence of duty and his alleged connection with terrorists. Fanmata Kasim.
During his service at the NIA, Keba Seka, a former NIA operative, told the commission that the NIA officers were tasked to gather information from the opposition parties and send them to the office of the president. According to Keba, the NIA at that time was only safeguarding the interests of the former president Yahya Jammeh.
They will be arresting suspects. The torture is just a custom at the time. So anybody arrested and detained, especially on government interest cases, of torture was a force that you have to encounter.
And the tortures meted out on detainees, are the names that you gave me, are they the same operatives that will carry out these tortures?
They are part of it, yes. And from time to time, transfer will come. Others will stay, others will go.
Can you tell us where will detainees be tortured at the NIA?
In those days, normally tortures are conducted at the conference hall.
Keba also told the Truth Commission that in 2007, while he was working at the tourism development area, the head of the NIA investigation department informed him of the order given for his arrest. He said he was subsequently arrested and detained in Bakau for 3 days before landing in the hands of the NIA for torture. His arrest and torture was fueled by allegation of his alleged connection with the rebel group in Casamance, who claimed that he made the document of their motorcycle.
During that period, you've told us that you were working at the TDA. Were you engaged in any investigations?
No.
Did it? Were you surprised that they were accusing you of working with rebels?
Yes.
Well, and why was that?
Because at that point in time, I was at TDA, far away from the border, where these rebel activities was going on. I was surprised.
Did they produce any evidence before the panel?
No, they only tell me they have an information.
And then what happened?
Then Alaji Idrissa Job starts shouting, insulting my mother. And he came towards me and stripped me off. Put handcuffs on me. Start beating.
Dozens of people suffered from a series of brutal torture and disappearances during the country's 22 years of dictatorial rule of ex-President Yahya Jammeh. The witness said many people were unlawfully arrested, detained, and heavily tortured by the National Intelligence Agency, who were directly taking orders.
A former NIA operative there told the Truth Commission that he was brutalized after alleging him of having connection with terrorists. We will now take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In the mood of pranking your friends? Change your voice and spice up your calls with AfriCell Magic Voice Service. You can choose to talk with a cartoon, a woman's or a monster's voice for only $1 per day. To activate the magic voice, call or SMS 188 or simply dial *188#. Have fun and enjoy the laughs.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news. Following the recent cross-carpeting of supporters of the Gambia Democratic Congress to President Barrow's National People's Party, many see the GDC as a dying party. But the party's National Youth President, MC Cham, says their party loyalists are still supporting the party's agenda. More in this report.
During the presidential elections, the Gambia Democratic Congress, GDC, made a historic record of polling over 17% of the votes to finish third during the December 4th presidential elections. Dr. Demba Sabali, national chairman of the party, and some of its parliamentarians cross-carpeted to the National People's Party of President Adama Barrow during his 2020 Meet the People tour. The move is described by some as a political blow to the GDC, despite its top brass arguing that the supporters that cross-carpeted to the NPP party are not supporters of GDC. GDC's National Youth President, MC Cham, said that GDC is still as active as in 2016, adding that the GDC is not a dying party.
If you look at our campaign in 2016, we get 17%, but when we go to the local government elections, we have 25%. Of the population vote for the GDC. So it's not about the party is dying. One individual leave the GDC. There's no mean that the parties have to die. If when Honorable can leave GDC, see now the party have to move. The party is not built only for one individual. It's built by the people. Without MC Cham, the GDC have to move. So, and if you look at the numbers, we are increasing every day. People are coming to join GDC every day. So those who are saying the party is dying, I don't know how they have their own observation about GDC.
The National Youth President emphasized that GDC is still functioning, adding that the party is ready to contest in this year's elections.
By July, we're going to seal everything, that people know that GDC is a strong political party, that we are strong to contest the presidential elections. And we have the support, and we have a charismatic leader, who is Honorable Kande. And people love Honorable Kande. 99% of the support of the GDC or any other political parties, they don't support the party, but they support the party leader. That's the culture of our political trends. People always focus more on the party leaders. So that's why if you are a member of the executive committee and you resign from the GDC and going to President Barrow camp, you just go alone. You are not going with anyone. That's what happened to our parliamentarians. When they leave GDC and join NPP, they just go alone. All of their committees are there in GDC, including their councillors. Even some of their parents, they are still now with the GDC. So it's not about individually the GDC. It's about the grassroots.
MC Chamri assured GDC supporters that their party is fully prepared to contest the upcoming elections. The Gambia will go to the polls later this year to elect a leader to steer the affairs of the nation for a period of 5 years. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
The National Youth President, MC Cham of the GDC, arguing that GDC is not a dying party, but rather assuring its supporters that the party is fully prepared for the next elections. Now, former Brikama Area Council Acting Chairman Usman Gay alleged that Old Yundum Market was left out of the council's development plans compared to other markets and has threatened court actions against the council. In response to the allegations, the CEO of the council, Mudu Jonga, said the council invests at the Old Yundum Market triples with what he's been spent on other markets in terms of its commitment to keeping the market clean and providing necessary resources. Fatmata Kasim reports.
The former acting chairman of the Old Yundum Market has on Sunday accused Brikama Area Council for failing the community of Old Yundum. Gay alleged that since Old Yundum Market was handed over to the Brikama Area Council in 2007, they have been paying their dues with nothing in return. However, the CEO of the Brikama Area Council responded to this accusation, saying that the market was never handed over to the council. He challenged Gay to show a handing over document if there is one.
Management of the market wanted to hand over the markets to the council. There have been a discussion at a very advanced stage. The council is very open for any discussions as well that will bring development to the doors of the people. So we are waiting on the community to do the formal handing over. And Mr. Gay himself is well aware of that discussions. We have our structures at the level of the grassroots, and then we work through those structures. And we cannot bypass those structures. We have to work through our structures because, you know, these are the bottom-up approach to development.
According to Usman Gay, the council built toilets that look like a chicken house. But on the contrary, the CEO said the council had invested resources to construct toilets for the market vendors, but they were later turned into a dump site.
Was submerged in fish waste, you know, that are thrown by the use of the market to this facility. The council have invested resources to construct that market for the use of the market vendors. What we end up having is the toilet facility being turned into a dump site. So we have to hire a machinery to be able to extract, you know, the fish waste so that, you know, the market facility is usable. So those allegations are completely irrelevant, and we do not expect that from a person of Mr. Gay.
Gay is determined to sue the council to court if they did not develop the old Yundum market in mid-March. However, the CEO of Brikama Area Council responded to the threat, saying Gay is free to sue the council and that they will want to see him in court when he does that. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
The CEO of the Brikama Area Council, they are responding to allegations that they have neglected the old Yundum market in terms of development by the former deputy chairman of the council. That will bring us to the end of GAM24. For more news, join us on iAfrica.tv. I was your presenter, Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and have a good night.